Welcome to the Scale Model Podcast. In this podcast, we aim to entertain, inform, and promote the hobby of scale model kit building with interviews, reviews, and news about the hobby. The podcast is available bi-weekly where your favorite podcasts are found, including iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also get it from our website at scalemodelpodcast.com, where you can find show notes, photo gallery, and so much more. You can also subscribe to get notifications on all our updates, new episodes, and video content. Please support the Scale Model Podcast on Patreon. Patreon supporters enjoy early access to content and exclusive contests. Your Patreon support helps us to offset hosting and other costs to bring the podcast to you. Welcome to episode 129 of the Scale Model Podcast, sponsored by Cult TV Man, Sean's Custom Model Tools, and Return to Kit Form. I'm one of your hosts, Stuart Clark, and I'm here with the gang once again, minus Anthony. He seems to have gone, MIA. He's a busy guy these days, so we'll forgive him. So first of all, from south of Chicagoland, southwest, I should say, where the weather's always a little bit ahead of us, as well as the time zone's 1 hour behind. It's Mr. Terry Measley. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. It's Northwest.
Well, my apology. Did I say south? Yeah. I did. I apologize. I should know that. Northwest. Okay. See, that's how confused I am on a Monday night. But there we go. Northwest of Chicagoland. Let's get it right.
Yep.
All righty. So how are things?
Going pretty good. Yeah. It's fall, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Weather's getting there. Yep.
Weather's getting there. It's a little cool. It's a little more comfortable.
And how are the puppy adventures?
Puppies are doing pretty good. Toshi is visibly taller than Zeus now.
Oh dear.
Zeus is the low man on the totem pole.
Oh boy.
He gets harassed by all of them.
Oh, poor thing. Yeah, but they all get spoiled between the
one of them has to fill that role.
Yeah, I know. I get it. All right. And also getting harassed by his daughters, 3 daughters, and his lovely wife and family, asking to do chores here, there, and everywhere. The cool grandpa, the cool woodworker, whatever. Mr. Jeff Highland, how are you?
I'm surviving. I just got back from the weekend at my brother's cottage up in the Muskokas, trying to help him close in some what used to be a Muskoka room. A Muskoka room, for those of you who don't know, is a room that basically should be a porch where you sit out and you enjoy the company of nature. But because you're in Canada and in the Muskokas in particular, you have to have it all screened in because otherwise you would be dead very short.
The bugs would carry you away, yes.
They would suck the blood from your body and take it away. And not pay a cent for it. But so he closed it in, and we told him when they built the house that they should actually put windows in and turn it into a 4-season room, not a 2.5 season room. So they finally did, and put in a fireplace, and that's what we were doing on the weekend. Closing in all the exterior.
That'll be good. Yeah, that's what I would say. A fireplace would certainly help.
Well, I mean, they have a full burner wood burner in the main room. In this one, they just took a little electric fake thing that you can look at. It even has fake sound.
That's unnecessary.
Oh, man.
Oh, no kidding. And it sounds terrible. It sounds like he put it on, and he's got 2 different sound effects. And he puts it on, and it sounds like some bonehead in behind the fireplace is tapping on Tupperware. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
You know what? That reminds me of some of the old Hornby steam engines. So James May from Top Gear, he did this series called The Reassembler, and he reassembled one of his childhood. They take it apart and they reassemble it. It's kind of a thing where you just, it's kind of like you just watch him in his workshop, and it's kind of soothing, actually. Mm-hmm. It's all sorts. It's a great series. But for the Hornby engines back then, to simulate the basic chuffing sound of the steam locomotive, it was basically a little piece of sandpaper that was only had the grit in one thing, and as it rolled, it and it sounded like that. But he said, it sounds like sandpaper on a block of wood. So that's what I think about. As soon as you said that, I thought about that.
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, it was fun to goof around. We also hooked up the PS4 and played a bunch of first-person shooter video games for until wee hours.
I can't. I suck at first-person shooters on those game consoles. Give me a mouse and a keyboard any day. The only thing I can play on those game consoles is like sports games.
I'm playing Diablo 4 with a controller and mouse and keyboard because I
Really?
Oh,
can't. Yeah.
there you go. There you go.
Holy
Perfect.
shit.
Perfect.
It depends on what I'm doing, what I'm using.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, I can see that.
It's my brother says that's why the console guys hate the PC guys.
Oh, I know, because we're keyboard and mouse much more accurate, But anyway, all right. So I want to thank our latest Patreon supporters, Mark and Rob. They both contributed, as always. This does help keep the show operation going. We pay for our domain name, we pay for website hosting, and we also pay to host our media files, so we can make it quick and easy for you and all that good stuff. So we do really support that. You can always go to patreon.com/scale model podcast, or you can always go to buy me a coffee /scale model pod. That's the maximum they'll let me do. I couldn't do the whole thing there. But of course, we have it in our show notes as always. All right, shows. Speaking of shows, tons of shows last weekend. So we're recording this on the 13th of November on Monday night. And both Australia and England had their big national shows and a couple of smaller ones in our area. And I know in the US, IPMS, various areas, they had tons too. But let's start over in the UK, otherwise known as Telford or Scale Model World. There is literally a billion different photo galleries out there. So I just found one that, but you can basically search and always some cool things. I love the Felix gun system with the Minion, painted as the Minion. Lots of good stuff, just as usual. Amazing things from Telford. I also like about the 4th or 5th in the West Middlesex Scale Model Club. So what they do is they have a lot of display tables, like what's going to happen at nationals. So they did a model of their table.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, two of the lads, cup of tea, various models. They're good for them. I think that's awesome.
Now, to be fair, those lads look a lot slimmer than I suspect the actual modelers in the club are.
You know what it is. The plastic takes off 20 pounds, Joe.
Yeah, it does. It does. And the scale, when you scale it down, it's like the color paint, right? You have to bulk up or something.
Yeah. Some very nice work as always. Always amazing to see stuff. It was very well attended. Lots of goodies there, I heard. I'm sure a lot of people blew through their budgets in no time. But yeah, definitely really good to see. I love the Oakley class light boat from the 1960s. I think that one's a scratch built. But yeah, just a lot of good diorama stuff. All sorts of good things. I do know.
Did you see the budding test pilot with the big Hitachi double arm?
Yes, I saw that.
Playing with an Arrowhawk or whatever it is.
Yeah, they also had further on. Someone has one with, and I've got this Hasegawa sub. Deep sea submersible. Yeah, and they've done it like with an aircraft at the bottom of the ocean. So that's kind of cool. So always good to see. The other one I also like was from Scale Scotland. They were down there, and they've got like one of the little signs you put on a wet floor that says "Caution, Senior Moment in Progress." So that one I found cute. So yeah, so always a good time. One day I'm going to make it there. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, George and Marcy Salidas went out this year.
Oh, did they? Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. We'll have to see what they get their comments on it and see what happened there. Okay, and at the other side of the world, Scale ACT. This is the big show in Australia. Our friends at On the Bench, they went there. They went down. They did some live broadcasts. So again, I found Herman Scale Modelers, and he's got, pardon me, he's got just an absolute ton of pictures from various days, hundreds actually. Just 2 sets of 2 galleries that are just huge, including
there's a beautiful one. I'm not sure what scale it is, whether it's the 144 or 172nd Snowberry, the Corvette. Beautiful job.
Yeah,
that's gorgeous.
Yeah, some beautiful aircraft. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. So it's very much worth. Go to Scale Model Podcast, and you can check out the show notes with the photo galleries. This is always a very well attended show. Some amazing things as always.
I am going to have to definitely knuckle down someday and try to do a seagoing ship diorama, with the with a good wave action. This is just brilliant
Well,
stuff.
well, you do have that 1/350th Enterprise.
Yeah, but I mean, I've also got the
Start.
172.
Yeah,
I've got
just
the
start.
I got the 172 Snowberry, which used to be radio control, and now
Yeah.
it no longer is. And maybe I could just wreck it like this one. This is a beautiful job.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I've got a few 1/700th and that 350th. At some point, I'll try one of that. But yeah, some beautiful ships in the ship category this year. And again, I will go blind making some of these with the photo etch, but thank God they have 3D printed stuff now.
I'm looking very carefully. I'm looking desperately to see if there's a Yamato, but I don't see a Yamato.
Not
Too bad.
yet. Give it time. Give it time. There is a Nagato.
I did see the Nagato.
Yeah.
I did see the
Gorgeous
Nagato.
work there. HMCS Canberra.
Domo arigato.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, again, some gorgeous stuff in all the categories there. So definitely worth your time. Nice to see a Ram Kangaroo there. Look at the weathering, just gorgeous. Yeah. So anyway, you can just ooh and ah on that for hours. But some good stuff. And I know Dave and Ian and Julian have released their episode from the show, so you can check that out as well at their site as well at On the Bench. So that's from Australia. Then we had Sword and Brush. Sword and Brush is a big figure show up in Burlington, up in our neck of the woods towards Toronto. And I know a few of the guys from Hamilton went up. So Ricardo was there. If you want to see simply some of the best busts and figures in that for your money, this is the place to go. Some gorgeous stuff. They do seminars. They do all sorts of things. Very popular show. Again, one day.
It's interesting. There's one picture early on which shows the photo setup, the lighting setup that they use to take pictures of these things, and it's quite very simple, but obviously effective. I might have to try this.
Yeah, but like I say, just some gorgeous stuff. I can never hope to equal some of these. These guys are artists in their they're a whole other class. But again, some gorgeous things and some interesting little dioramas. But just
there's some good stuff in there.
Yep, very popular show. Been around for years and years and years. So definitely, again, worth your time. We've got a guy in our club, Ron. He's working on he got a new like 12K resin printer, and he's working on this huge dragon. And based on the one he already did, it's going to be just amazing.
Well, I think, what did you say? The wingspan or the wingspan of this thing's like 2 feet.
Yeah, something monster. He's
it's insane. It's huge,
but just amazing quality. Okay, and then we had the Detroit area auto modelers, their annual show. The NL in Motor City. This is a very popular one. They had over 380 vendor tables. Long line to get in the door even after the doors opened. I know AMT was there celebrating their 75th anniversary, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the What's New. But I did find this photo gallery of some of the various stuff. So again, well worth going through. The car guys just, as always, have some amazing things with the colors.
Wow.
Yeah. So just some absolutely gorgeous things over 2 pages. And again, there's more photo galleries coming. By the time this episode comes out on the weekend, you'll be able to have a lot more there. But just, some of the candy colors, the way the shine on that and stuff like that, just absolutely gorgeous. So well worth your time to look at. Another popular show. All right. Not much in the mailbag this week. In fact, nothing, but that's fine. So Telford, not a lot of announcements from Telford, except for Airfix. Airfix managed to keep this under their hat, and I've been very impressed, considering they also gave some out to YouTuber modelers to build. So they announced on the Friday, just before Telford, a Model World exclusive, new Airfix ME 410. So this is all new tool, several hundred parts, and again, it's a very famous heavy fighter used in all theaters during the war. So this is 72nd, and again, all new tool, and they kept this under their belt, and I'm very impressed.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because it's a very popular subject, and I know some people will be very, very happy to see this. A couple of different schemes with armor. They had CAD renderings and stuff like that. And the link I've put on is the Airfix blog, and the Airfix blog is
Mhm.
always worth checking out because they really go into detail about how they did it, how they came up with the design, the history of the aircraft, and then how they put the kit together. So yeah, just gorgeous. Again, not my thing, but I know a lot of people who like this.
Mhm.
It's a very attractive looking aircraft. I doubt I'll get one, but again, very nice.
I always thought it looked like somebody had chopped its nose off.
Well, a little bit. I always remember reading about this because it had the giant gun for tank killing, and it also had the dorsal guns on the side of the fuselage,
which never really worked for.
Nah.
Well, no, but it worked well for the bombers if you get the bomber to keep still and point upwards. Basically at night against the British bombers because they didn't have a downward facing turret. If you could sneak up without the tail gunner seeing you, you could give someone a bad day. So yeah, 2 schemes. Again, the copy they have here that someone built. It's very cool. So very good to see. Very nice looking aircraft. Okay.
It is surprising that they were able to keep this a secret.
Yeah, they're pretty good lately. Again, they really do strong NDAs. Again, it went out to a few builders. They sent out advanced copies because they were done on the day of.
I don't think Airfix has ever made one of this, and it does. It sort of supports the content here.
Yeah,
this is the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this one I know Terry. As soon as I saw this, I know Terry would be very excited. Our good friends at Halberd Models. Look, another P-47.
Yeah, another P-47, 32nd scale and 48 scale conversions. I saw someone already finished up 32nd scale conversion for the Trumpeter.
So tell us a little bit about the XP-72 Ultra.
XP-72, when we thought we needed some more point defense type interceptors, which we really didn't. It's a bubble top, so that tells you kind of where it fits in the lineage. But they threw up a 4-bank Pratt & Whitney 4360 engine in there, and that's like 3,500 horsepower.
Wow,
it's crazy. They were also playing around with a 37 millimeter cannon at that point. One of the options for kind of like with the A20 when they were playing around with 37 millimeters, and they just didn't work that great. But they had various options for what they thought armament would be. Probably would have been 650s at some point. But yeah, it looks like a Sea Fury, just all roid raged up.
Yep.
It's astonishingly good looking. Honestly, it looks better even than the XP-47H. Probably because it's a bubble top and it's real smooth looking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Only 2 of these were built.
I was going to ask you how many. They only built a couple, didn't they? Yeah.
Only 2 of them were built, and they really didn't get out of the teething phase before it was canceled because it just wasn't necessary.
Do you know if any are left in the museums?
I don't know that.
Okay, just wondering.
No.
Well, no, absolutely gorgeous. They also said here, Halberd also said they are suspending work on the XP-85 and the Goblin release is postponed to 2024 due to the difficult situation in Ukraine and delays in the supply. But yeah, it looks very, very nice.
Yeah, there will be both 3D printed and resin cast parts for this.
Yeah.
Ultra Bolts. And again, Halberd's masters in castings. Their castings are immaculate.
Yeah.
So this should be very nice.
Yeah, it'll be very nice. So I'm sure that's awesome to see. So that's good. So so yeah, Terry's breaking out the credit card.
Oh yeah, when it's available, I'll get it.
Okay, next up, I saw this interesting one. Aero Moldy, they're creating a resin-based 1/72nd scale Boeing 737-300. That's going to be a big piece.
That's going to be a lot of resin.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. There's going to be a full version with cabin and windows to follow. He's done a few different things, the maker here. So, so he's going to have the rollout, the pre-advanced, and the advanced. So for those people who like their airliners, it looks the right shape.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It does really look
Even
good.
the engines, because the engines intakes aren't perfectly round, and
No,
it looks good.
no, that flattened look.
Yeah, but it's nice to see this. I try and promote when I can when I see the smaller industries doing it. Okay, slightly bigger industry, but this one isn't a surprise to anyone. HK Models released their 132nd scale Boston Mark IV, or in the US they called it the A20 JK Havoc in time for
Yes.
Telford. I believe Chris Meddings built one of these for them there at the
Yeah,
show.
he was doing that.
He was finishing up. So this is the glass nose one. And again, our friends at the Modeling News expected December. Full on details all about it. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, as you expect from the internal structure. Fully opened up perspex nose. It can be shown open to the maddening crowd if you like.
Wow.
Metal undercarriage rates with legs, and of course a nose weight. So yeah, fully
It's a
detailed.
Where?
Nice looking plane though.
Yeah,
it's
they
very
were
clean. Nice.
Oh,
they were.
Is that I'm trying to figure out where they put a nose weight.
I
guess
know.
it's that piece
It's got to be
just
underneath
below the cockpit there.
Yeah, that's
It's got to be a molded.
Yeah, something
thing.
molded in. That's the only thing I can think of.
Because there is no space in an
No.
A20's cockpit.
No?
Yeah,
Or nose anyway.
Looks like that. Right there's like a lead piece right underneath the cockpit.
Yeah,
on
it
the
must
one
be
side, maybe on either
yeah.
side. Yeah, good point.
Must
Well,
be the molded landing gear bay
Yeah,
part.
we'll have
I
to
don't
see
know.
if we can. We'll have to find the
Fascinating.
instructions when they come out.
Yeah,
We'll have to look, but all sorts of schemes in various countries manufacture.
so many countries use these
Yeah.
A20s.
Yeah, so you've got the RAF and the U.S. Army Air Force, and I'm
Mhm.
sure there'll be more coming.
Yeah, and
countries.
eventually they'll do the same thing, I'm sure, as they did with the B-25s
Yeah.
and the B-17s, and release this in 48 scale. So,
Oh yeah,
as tempting as it is in 32nd, I think I'll wait for the 48.
I had the Matchbox, the A model, the one with the guns. I had the Matchbox, classic Matchbox one in 72nd. I had that one for years. That was a fun kit to build.
And I've got a bunch of the AMT Ertl
Oh yeah,
ones, and they build up pretty well with a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And for that I've got an MPC, MDC, turbine light conversion where they put the big spotlight in the nose.
Oh yeah,
and it was going up there, and it wasn't a fighter; it was going up to illuminate the bombers over over England, so the ground gunners could hit them more easily.
Yep.
There's a job for you.
Yeah, just make sure you aim at the right spot, please.
Yeah.
Make sure you lead your round.
You're a big target. Yeah, you're a blinding target, but you're a big target too.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I remember that Matchbox kit. It went together well, except I really had to use a lot of putty to get the wings level. The wing fit was not good in the wing root. I do remember that. All right. From TACOM. Oh, look, more Tigers. No surprise, they sell. So this one, they're going to have a big box combo. This is going to come with 3 32nd scale Tigers and a 1/16th figure of Otto Karas. He was a Panzer ace in the war. After the war, he survived the war. He later became a pharmacist, believe it or not. Worked until he was 91, then retired, died 2 years later. So and obviously they're saying all we need now is a 16th scale Tiger 1 to put the figure in. But in the big box, you get all 3 Tigers in their scale, both the 2 mid productions, one with a 35th scale auto, and the other a late production kit. So big kit. Big.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of modelers out there who just don't have enough Tigers yet.
Well, it's like Spitfires.
Yeah.
As I look over at my stash at my 7 or 8 in one scale alone. Yeah. All right. Hey, that's why, hey, if they sell, they sell. I don't criticize.
I guess so.
Popular subject. So probably about 2-month release based on when they announce and stuff like that. Okay. See, I now this one next, I tried to cover all bases in this podcast. So this is Mung. This is their new McLaren MP4, the 1988 version. And this comes now in a pre-colored version. So this is the F1 car. Prost and Company. And again, they're making some nice stuff for Formula One. So yeah, it is licensed by McLaren, 36 centimeters long, 17 centimeters wide. No painting necessarily needed. It actually looks really good for the pre-painted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
does.
interesting. They got one front-on shot that has the Marlboro logo on it, and the other ones don't.
Yeah, they don't. So yeah, it's interesting. The other ones you're all getting McLaren everywhere. I don't think they're allowed to do decals for that, but yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
But again, pre-colored plastic, you got, variety of painting, electropainting, plating processes are used to present the metallic texture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
And some carbon fiber texture in
Yep.
there. Yeah.
You know what?
Interesting.
If you just wanted to, if you're a big fan, even the seatbelts, if you're a big fan and just wanted to get one together without fussing about something for the
Mhm.
shelf, this is nice. This is actually very nice. The more I look at it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, again, if your big bugaboo is the high gloss finish, then this will take care of that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you can't screw it up, right?
Well, you
No.
still can. If you work hard at it, you
If
probably
you work
can.
hard at it, always. I'm just seeing if they have a price yet. I'm just going to the Mung site. It's just all the same pictures, but I don't see pricing yet.
Hugo Boss seatbelts. Wow.
Oh, they're the sponsor, right? You got to
Yeah, I guess so.
You got to look classy. No price on the Mung site yet.
No.
But that's a nice one too. Okay, we talked about this new Magic Factory Corsair. It's getting a lot of press. A lot of people are liking it so far, but they're also throwing up some additional aftermarket if you want to make it even nicer. Again, from Magic Factory, so they've got 2 different 3D engine sets.
Wow, look at those engines.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the full Pratt & Whitney R2800, the separate display version.
Look at the wiring harness. That's
Yeah, I know.
impressive. Wow.
Yep. Includes the ignition harness, something that can save the modeler a lot of effort and time and their sanity.
And it's beautifully done too. That's impressive.
Yeah, and then you got the maintenance version that you can basically plop into your kit. And just needs to be removed, sanded flush before inserting straight into a Corsair kit. All-in-one solution, but giving top-class detail. And then they've got a ground crew, 5 figures doing ground servicing, 3D resin.
Yeah, they even show you the
Little
print
base.
up resin protector and everything.
Yeah.
Just exactly what you're gonna get.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to paint the whole thing in situ.
Yep. But again, if this is
The ground crews are fantastic.
Yeah,
though.
they're definitely taking on Tamiya. They're definitely drawing a line.
Yeah, and they're definitely going with the buff ground crew.
Well, in the South Pacific, there, all that sun,
They're probably a little too buff. I've seen pictures of those guys, and
Yeah.
they were like 140 pounds.
That's what I was going for. Exactly.
But yeah, no, we're going to see a lot of those on the tables, I think, next year, and they're going to look really nice. I think definitely. So,
That's
all
great.
righty. So Edouard released their November magazine, where they cover a lot of different stuff. It's a free magazine, and it's their announcements, and it's always worth downloading and having a look because you'll get tons of tips. Tons of different things. But the other thing that's nice is they always have a nice little they have the editorial. And one of the guys on BritModeler.com did a little summary of some of the announcements. So they're doing more of the ME 109G family in 1/72nd scale. They've got Gustav's parts 1 through 4. So the G5 and the G6 early, G6 late, high rudder, and then era type cockpit, the G14, the G, again, there's many versions of 109s as there are Spitfires.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got 4 there, limited editions. Then they're going to do a North American, they're working on the molds for this, a P51 B and C Mustang in 1/48 scale.
Yeah, that'll be a nice addition for their line.
Yep, a MiG 48 MiG 21 F13. one of the older kit designs. The original kit's been completely redesigned from the ground up. This is our third generation of MiG-21s. So late 2024. And then currently the project's on hold. And again, I always like these guys. They're very transparent. The Aviva S99, the L13. Due to the current economic situation, coupled with a significant drop in sales, we will postpone the implementations to a later date and give priority to more economically effective titles. So it's interesting if sales are down. I was at my local shop today and we were talking with a few people, and in general, yeah, life's getting expensive. So I don't think people are buying as much unless you can afford it. So
Well, also, I suspect a lot of people bought a bunch during the pandemic, and now's your chance to start going at your stash.
I guess. Well, and then also new priority projects. They're going to work on the 48th P40, various ones. So,
oh, really? Finally, maybe we'll finally get the correct one for the Tuskegee.
Well,
Hawk.
it says here the P40E in time for the second half of 2024, using scan data that'll be applied to the P40 project and scanning 3 specimens of P40 of different versions. So they're also saying, notice previously reported by Edward, the P40 is based on a special hobby design. So data from scans of the original aircraft may modify what we have seen. And then, of course, 48 scale, the Ju-87 Edward will release a Stuka. As is recent custom, the subject of the progress will be the entire Ju-87 line. The only thing so far is whether the A model will be part of the project. We'll start construction as soon as the P40. They have scanned 2 Stukas, an 87D at Hendon and an 87B Rec in Berlin. So there you go. And looks like, and our scan data will be also used to reconstruct the real 87B, which is being refurbished for an American owner in the Czech Republic and Hungary. Interesting. They're going to get that to fly again, I wonder.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that was from our friends at Brit Moller, and thank you for the person who did the summary there. But again, it's always worth to read the Edward.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in this.
It's a great magazine. I download it every month when it comes out. Okay, now one on my
I was waiting for you to
bucket
get to this
list.
one.
Yeah, oh yeah, I saw this and there was a squeal of delight. So I've said this for a while before. They redid Jerry Anderson's Captain Scarlet series. They did an animation version in 2005. It was actually really good. One of the things they did is they did update the Angel Interceptor. So in the thing, it's been replaced by the White Falcon Spectrum Falcon. Twin end, just absolutely gorgeous. And I've been waiting for someone to do this. Well, now it's here. 37 pieces, 72nd scale. Car Darby did the pattern, casting by Creative Cast Parts, and CMR Productions doing the decals. JBot did the design. This looks really nice. At some point, this is going to have to make its way in my stash.
Mhm.
It's just a nice looking aircraft. If you look at the bottom, you ever watch the series, it just looks the part. Absolutely. Of course, mine may have RCAF markings, but
This will be a nice companion piece to your Scarlet,
the Interceptor,
Scarlet
yeah.
Interceptor.
Yeah, and I think I'll just do low vis modern Canadian scheme. Exactly. The latest thing from Avro.
Yeah, there you go.
After their successful Aero program, their Interceptor program, Stealth in my alternate universe. But yeah, $85 in shipping. That's pretty well standard for something light like this. But very, very nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing that at some point. And of course, Santa, if you're listening, just saying. All right. News from Special Hobby. He never listens. That's all right. News from Special Hobbies. Again, we like this. A bunch of different things they're deciding to do. So they are doing the Blumenvoss BV 155 and 172nd scale. This was originally designed to be a high altitude interceptor because they were worried about the Americans were going to bring B-29s to Germany. So this was made specifically to combat that.
Yep. I've got a resin 48 scale, one of those in the stash. Yeah. It says 48th, but I don't think so. It looks too
Okay.
big.
Now this is 72nd, and then we've got the
Yeah.
Mirage F1 CR.
Mhm.
Nice art there beside an F15. It was only flown by the French and phased out in 2014. I'm not a big Mirage person, but
Mhm.
I know based on what I'm seeing from the internet chatter, people are looking forward to that. And then we've got a 7.5 centimeter gun.
You
The
didn't even
M15.
try.
No, are you kidding? Horse ski. How about I just do
Horse cannon.
horse ski cannon?
Horse ski cannon.
Horse ski
Yeah.
cannon. Austro-Hungary Empire to use mountain guns.
Oh, a mountain gun. Nice.
So they can get them up the mountain and back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were used for the first time in the Italian front in the early stages of 1916. Over 2,000 were produced. All right. And then this is nice. For their 148 T2 Buckeye, an injected molded canopy with some nice parts there, clear parts. And yeah.
Now I have to check to see if mine had injection or the
Vacuum
photo vac form.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a correction
Nice to
set for
know.
earlier Buckeye that only had vacuum canopies.
Nice.
So yeah. And then of course they got their mast sets, the Avro Anson. If you're building an Anson, you need a mast set. I'm just
You
saying.
need a mast set.
Yeah. If you just look right there.
Or therapy. Or therapy.
109 pieces. 109 masts there. Yeah.
Well, that thing is a big greenhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interior and exterior.
Yeah.
I'm for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's everything. World War II trailer in 148 scale.
Sure.
And how about the Morris CS9 British light armored car?
I
Nice.
like
Wrong
the
scale.
pattern.
Too tiny.
Oh, it is small.
Oh, this is perfect for you, Stuart. You're getting right into this stuff.
I'll just start swearing at it. How about the coarse brass chain with rounded links?
Oh,
Why not?
3 millimeter.
And then if you need the medium one, they have the medium. And then they have the fine, of course.
I've seen some of these.
Yeah, rounded
shops.
links.
Nice.
Because again, you have to make sure you have your right roundness on the links.
hmm
They also have their MG 3441 German machine gun, 135th scale. Comes with a little bit of photo etch. Those are nicely cast. An anti-aircraft machine gun rack for your MG 34. All sorts of goodies for when you want stuff on your half track.
Yeah.
It's there. So yeah, that's the stuff coming from Special Hobbies.
Very nice.
All right. And I'm not going to leave the ship modelers behind. Starling Models, they have some new things. They have HMS Venus and HMS Scorpion from 45 and 43 in 1/700 scale. These are 3D printed and photo etched. Venus is a V-class destroyer, complete update there. And then Scorpion is a S-class destroyer.
Yeah. These are from Atlantic Models.
Yeah.
The other thing for this,
Tiny.
these Starling guys, they also produce this magazine, which is free. It's it's a electronic ebook magazine, Scale Ship Modeling. This is issue 3, and you can click on the link on this page. That you'll have this with the show notes, Stuart, and you get this free downloadable. Stick it on your iPad or your tablet or your laptop or whatever, and they're pretty good. They're well done, nice, professionally done.
Yeah, they do nice stuff. They got a lot of they're held in highly regard. Starling and also some of the other manufacturers, they're held in very high regards for the in the shipbuilding community.
Yeah, I like all of these unusual like trawlers and tugs, and there's like motor launches and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
And best of all,
I do like those ocean class steam drifters, 1917 in 1/144 scale, out of stock, unfortunately, but I do like them.
Well, see, the other thing I like is they now have 3D printed Oerlikons, 20 millimeter. Single parts. You're not having 1/700th, so you don't have to worry about trying to put 15 tiny parts together. Again, when I build my Fletcher, my 350th Fletcher, believe me, there'll be some purchases to avoid to avoid the photo etch, because the 3D printed stuff's just gorgeous, like the hedgehogs now. And I'm just looking at some of the 350th, which is unfortunately out of stock. I'm not surprised. But yeah, just some gorgeous things there. 3D printing's done huge things for the ship market because of the photo etch you can replace.
It's kind of unfortunate looking at this page how much stuff is out of stock.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get some more stuff in.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. All right. And then also moving on, we talked about the Detroit Model Show, the NL Model City. AMT was there celebrating their anniversary, but they also had a brand new release. And one of the guys that was there, Tim Boyd, did this little review. This is the new MPC Dodge Demon 340. This is a 1971 Dodge Demon. Do you remember those, Jeff?
I do.
There you go.
And I remember model boxes looking like this, you know, with the
Yep.
big red engine, and the shifter is a very big
Yep.
feature.
Well, it's all new,
Yes.
all new tooling. You can build one of two versions, stock or drag. As you said, you got the 344 BBL engine, all the mirrors, drag slicks or stock tires, bucket seats, plated wheels, roll cage. Yeah, this looks really nice. So yeah, this is going to be very nice to see. So anyway, Walworth, if you click just down below the main picture, he's got 19 pictures that shows the inside and what you get in it. Nice looking decals, you know, everything nicely bagged.
Just takes me back.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing there. But again, this is an all new tool. So this isn't, loaded with performance parts.
I like that the tires, all the raised lettering, the Firestone and wide oval is all pre-painted.
Yep.
You look at there's a picture there.
Yeah, you're right. Saves you a bunch of time.
Yeah, no kidding. That's great.
Our Tampo painted error corrected wide ovals. Of course, only Goodyear Polyglass GTs were factory standard. But according to Steve, Goodyear is not currently licensing the Polyglass name for some reason. So Firestone said, sure, we'll take that on.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, looks like they had a good time there with the car modeler. So I'm sure we'll hear more about it. I got to get a car modeler on again. Some nice little decals there too. Yeah. So very, very nice. So yeah, so something for the car guy. I think I managed to cover pretty well something per everything. Okay, let's go over to ScaleMates. Let's see what's new. So I do notice the B-21 Raider. It did its first flight.
It did
the other day over Edwards. Yep. Mike Ramirez got one in 1-144. The Westland Wasp, very famous British, very small little helicopter, but worked quite well. The SAS used them for years. You've got the Wanderer, little Copper State, 1916 motorcycle.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. What else we got here? Ferrari 499, new scratch 143rd. We got the Spectre Falcon.
M24 Chafee, but in 72nd. I know people have been wanting a new version of that from the old testers ones.
Oh, Stuart, look at this next one.
700th, I know, eh?
This is, oh man, you're going smaller and smaller. There you go.
Totally. Then we got the industrial tractor from Mini Art, November 10th.
Love it. Anything with an exhaust that looks like that, I gotta have it.
There you go. 124 scale. Not even 135th. That's going to be it.
That's one of the big Lance Bulldogs, right?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, the Bulldogs.
How about a Minenwerfen System Scorpion?
Gesundheit.
For Modelbau. Yeah. That looks pretty cool.
And then on the 9th, we have Soviet passenger car, the Gorky M20. 0 to 60 in 10 seconds if it's down a hill in a tailwind. Some munitions transporter, Marines, a modern tow tractor in 148th.
Yeah, U.S. Navy tow tractors.
Yep.
Very nice.
The Halberstadt.
D2.
3 different scales, 24th, 32nd, and 48th.
Oh, from our buddies at Luke Graf.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice.
Oh.
What else? We got some Gundams. How about the control kit, replica kit? You can either do a B8 or an F-16, 1-to-1. Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just saying. All right. Arena Models has a bunch of classic, like 50s era NASCARs.
I always looked at these as being like moonshine haulers.
Yeah, well, that's originally, but the same idea. But this is when they take it to the track. It's during the week they haul the moonshine, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. What else here? 72nd KV1, T70, T62 from Zvezda. Let's see. How about a Ferrari 308, the Marlboro? Of course, they can't say that, but 1/43rd scale rally
That
one.
was one of the Baja builds. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And a Little Fortune Rabbit from Mung. No scale.
Little Fortune.
Year
Yeah.
of the Rabbit.
But then look at all the Lancia Stratoses then.
Yep.
Oh, now we're talking.
There you go. Look at all the different,
Lancias.
look at all the different
all these-
schemes you can build, Terry.
Yeah, they're all the 43rd scale sets.
Yeah.
Look at them all
Look at them all. No kidding.
in their 1980s glory.
Yeah, well, other
Seven.
one we were talking about last week at the build night was the Lotus 63, then under the 5th 1/20th scale,
Oh,
limited edition of 99 kits.
Love it.
Paul Munby. I don't know them at
No.
all.
No, neither do I. So-
Hazmat Bulldozer.
And then a Pratt and Whitney Wasp engines from the 3rd, a couple of different ones there, 1/48th, 1/24th.
Have
And-
you already? We already talked about the Fitch and Foos preposterous.
No, we
squid?
talked about it at the build night. We're going to talk about that right now. Pitch and Food, preposterous squid. Looks like it was out in 2021, but they just added to the catalog. But we have to point it out. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, he stopped doing resin cast kits a number of years ago because it was just getting really difficult for him to do.
pity.
Yeah.
But they were gorgeous. They were not inexpensive, but I always told him he was underpriced.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's a and now he's doing it as a subscription
Ah, okay.
for printing, and I'm not sure about. Oh, it says full kit.
Yeah.
He must
Yeah.
have done something with this.
Well,
I'll
it
have
says-
to talk
it
to
sa-
him about
Talk
it.
to him because it says 2021. Someone may have just added it to the database.
Oh, sure.
It's
Okay.
possible, but you never know, right? Maybe he'll
I
do
never
some-
did
That's
get this.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful one. Just looking at it though, just a gorgeous kit.
Yeah.
You know-
gorgeous.
All of his stuff was,
Yeah.
whether it was from different designers or his stuff, and he did all of these aquatic and insect themed
Right.
things, and they're beautiful.
Exactly. And then I'm looking down on the 3rd bunch of releases, but I love some of the Tamiya's educational stuff. Again, they're just adding it to the database, 2021, 2022.
Swimming
So-
sea otter. Perfect.
And of course the monorail.
A monorail. Gotta have a monorail.
And the
Your
walking
town
and
needs a
swimming
monorail.
deck. Yep. And this one here, November 2nd, the CIM 10A Beaumark missile. I so much want to get this, do a diorama with an Avro arrow flying over the wreckage of one of these. Because this is one of the reasons they said we canceled the arrow.
Right.
You know, not that I'm biased or anything, you know, or I'm upset about it or anything, but you know, just
Well, once the missiles came along, there wasn't much point for interceptors. So
well, so they thought, and then gee,
Yeah.
still have them
Yeah.
today. And we'll finish things off with also in the second bunch of Datsuns from Arena as well, 240Zs.
Yeah.
And a couple of Porsches too.
a couple of Porsches, 911s,
Yeah, you gotta
That's
have
it.
some Porsches. You gotta have some
just to
Porsches.
satisfy you.
That's
yeah.
right. Damn straight. A couple of 935s further down. A couple of
Yeah, yeah.
alphas. They did a bunch of stuff. See, lots of different things. But you know, people aren't building models anymore, apparently. You know.
They're not building them; they're just buying them.
Yeah,
I
well,
guess
you know,
so.
that's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about our good friend Steve at Cult TV Man. He was at a big show last weekend too, and he had a lot of fun. So let's see what's new with him. Let's talk a little bit about what's new at our good friends at Cult TV Man. A couple of new things now in stock, including the Green Hornet, the Black Beauty, with Green Hornet and Kato figures from AMT. That's going to be $33.99, 1/25th scale. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Next up is NASA's Artemis 1 rocket in 1/200th from Round 2 AMT. That'll be available right now for $29.99. And a vintage kit, I remember this one when it came out, the vintage NASA Space Shuttle. The big 1/72nd scale from Monogram from 1983. That'll be $99.99. There's also some pre-orders coming. The USS Reliant, the 2024 reissue. That's, of course, from the Wrath of Khan, the 1537 scale from round 2, and lots of other goodies. So make sure there's always something new to check out at Cult TV Man and CultTVManShop.com. They've also got a couple of new categories. They've got the holiday shopping 2023, including Black Friday sales coming soon. Watch this space. And also a good little stocking stuffer section. So some smaller kits. So, for example, the Millennium Falcon mini kit. This is number 6 in that series from Bandai for $10.99, and the mini kit number 2, which is the Star Wars X-Wing from Bandai, again for $10.99. Lots of goodies to check out. So, as always, check out CultTVManShop.com and tell them that the Scale Model Podcast sent you. All right, what's on the bench? Not a ton of time, but I've been doing some more painting experiments with the Battle Mechs miniatures, mostly seeing what I can do with the contrast or the speed paints and the airbrush. Different things, learning a few new things. And if you haven't tried mini painting or you haven't tried these contrast paints to paint minis, it's worth checking it out.
Mm-hmm.
All the manufacturers are making them. Games Workshop has contrast paints. I like Army Painter with their speed paints. One of the things I think it will do really well for the armor guys, if you get some brown and some leather, you can literally do like a wood stain in one coat without having to use 2 different or 3 different colors or leather or stuff like that. Because this paint's thin enough. It's designed to, sink into the depressions and, like that and go darker, and it'll highlight near the top. So, for people working on armies, just for like what we call game ready, this stuff works great. You're saving having to do 2 more coats of a light and a dark, and it works really well. But I've been having some fun with it. You definitely need to get more use for it out of the. At least I've done one airbrush so far, and it's definitely. I find if you use the paintbrush, you get the effect quicker. Airbrush, you may need 2 coats just because you're putting a thinner coat.
It's a glazing technique. It's really meant for brushes.
Yeah, exactly.
And generally a broader brush, and you can even thin it down more if you wanted to. With glaze medium.
Yeah, and I've also been trying the slap chalk technique where you prime it black and then you dry brush gray and a white down, and then you put your glazing on, and it's kind of cool as well. So playing with that. The Musaru Cup, as you've been hearing me bitch about, it's a tiny kit. Again, hats off to the guys that build this. This is a very precise kit. I've got the priming done. Painting, I've started on some body parts. Again, you've got to watch the order that you build things so you don't put yourself into a corner. So getting there, and I've got more and more of an idea how I'm going to display it. So we are getting there. But I have to admit, I have to confess, I'm looking forward to getting it done so I can move on to something else. And that's the next thing to figure out what I'm going to move on. And speaking of working on bears, Jeff, how's yours going?
It has been a nightmare. I mean, as you can see, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to do wood grain on the propellers, but I'm building the Airfix, the classic 1966, 1967 vintage Handley Page 0400 in 1/72nd scale. And you know what? For that era, the molds aren't bad. The detail, it's got some nice stitching on the fabric, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't fit too badly together, but I am terrified of the next step, which is actually putting the struts and the wings together. This is just it's a good sized little kit.
And then you got to rig it.
And then I'm gonna rig it, and that's gonna be another nightmare on its own. But it's been a real challenge, and just trying to put the landing gear. Like, look at this landing gear.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. You have to send a picture. Send a picture of that one.
I will. It's ridiculously complicated, and the engine nacelles are kind of a challenge, and it's been. No, it hasn't been an easy build. It's no Tamiya, let's put it that way. It's no Bandai.
And can you imagine if Wingnut had actually built one?
Oh, well, the thing is, to do some detail, like there really isn't a lot of good pictures available of the cockpit area, and I wanted to try and put something in there because otherwise it was pretty much empty. And the best source was the online Wing That Wings CAD drawings for their 0400.
Yeah.
So that worked out really well. It's just great. But but otherwise, no, it's been nuts. And as you know, Stuart, we finally moved. I posted on my Facebook. We finally moved our cabin away from the edge of the cliff.
I saw that.
Guys came last week and with a skid steer and a bunch of steel I-beams and dragged it all the way across. It worked out really
And
well.
they actually went in the right direction, so you didn't end up with like a beach house instead.
No, it worked out great, and it's actually not damaged at all. So
yeah, no, look good from the pictures.
Quite pleased, and the trees have shed all their leaves, so
yes, they have.
Tomorrow and rake them off the grass before it all dies.
Okay, but I always say you should wait till the grandchildren come over, then have a game. Let's see who can rake all the leaves fastest. And then Dad can go back of a gnat. Yes, yeah, I know. Well, I was gonna say when you start working on that Hanley page, make sure the grandchildren aren't in the house. You don't want them learning brand new words.
Oh no. The key is, and I will say this, the difference between building one of these old Airfix kits and trying to make a modern quality build out of it versus building a Tamiya kit is that you actually are a modeler.
Yes.
Because you have to problem solve every step of the way on this. You have to bring some skills to this. You're not just assembling like those people who make Tamiya kits.
Well, I'm finding the Earl truck. It's a newer kit, but again, there's a lot of thinking you got to plan throughout. Like eventually next year I'll be working on my next Valkyrie, and the Hasegawa Valkyries, they're great, the Macross stuff, but again, you really kind of have to think through how you're going to do it, so you don't paint yourself into a corner.
Oh yeah. I remember that when I did mine.
Yeah. All right, Terry, how about you?
I've been doing some work on that Aldrin class from Will. The right now it's mostly buffing paint, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm not entirely happy with the coat that went down after the gloss coat, because I thought I was going to get ready to start masking and decaling and stuff, and I'm not. So I don't know. I'll see what I'll do. I might wind up stripping it and starting over, which is fine. I did also start just to do a Bandai kit after taking those Yamato Universe kits to the Cincinnati show. It's like, I want to build another one. And I was going to go into I bought one of the multi-deck carriers, which I had never bought any of.
Yeah.
So I bought one of those in Cincinnati, and I was going to go up and look for another dreadnought type thing. It's like, oh no, I should just build this, and then realizing it's 4 decks and you got to paint the decks first.
Oh yeah. Well, I know. I
then
know
build
Peter
around
Fay.
them.
Yep, I know Peter Fay from our club, and you know him from Wonderfest.
Yeah,
he's done a couple, and they are gorgeous.
Yeah,
they look really. But as you say, you got to plan them out.
Yeah, and this is the purple one.
Oh yes, yeah, he built that one. That's a nice
one.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I like that one. Yeah, that's a very nice one. The 4-deck Lambda. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good sized. It's long.
Yeah,
it's really long.
They're big. Yeah, I remember he brought that a couple of years ago to our club meeting, and it was really, really good. All right, so onwards and upwards. Let's go to our second sponsor ad. Let's talk about Sean's custom model tool. I keep having to bug Anthony. I'm hoping soon we have to do a review, because Sean's done some 1/72. He's gonna be doing 1/35, some jerry cans and stuff like that with his 3D printer. So Anthony's got to do a review on that. And we're gonna do that at some point. But anyway, here he is now. Now we're going to talk a bit about Sean's Custom Model Tools, one of our other sponsors of the Scale Model Podcast. Some very cool things, both 3D printed and the Goodman Super Sanding Blocks. Let's start with the Microset and Microsole decal set bottle stand. This is purposely designed for the microscale set and sole. Most modelers over the years, they've tipped these bottles over. So this is a very handy thing. At $14.95, you can put them both together. They're printed in blue and red for easy identification. Comes with a black base, and they actually have little magnets on it, so it keeps them in place. Definitely a good deal. I use mine all the time, and I can well recommend them. let's talk a bit about those Goodman Model Super Sanding Blocks, namely the Value Pack Combo for $28.99. You get the 80 grit, 180 grit, 220, 320, 400, and 600. Just an amazing set, just what you need. And you can also, if you want, you can also get a super sanding block stand for it, which also really makes life a little bit easier, helps things keep it organized. The other thing too is they have the awesome model tape dispenser for your various tapes. It's basically a 3D printed thing. You put spools of your tapes. It's got a little razor blade to help cut it, and it's really, really good design. So yeah, works out really well, and yours for $19.95. So check out these and other amazing deals at Sean'sCustomModelTools.com, and also on Facebook, and tell them that the Scale Model Podcast sent you. All right, what we're reading. I had to switch e-readers, gentlemen. My old iPhone, I was using a e-reader called Marvin, which had nice integration with my Calibri ebook library I keep on my computer. It acts like a web server to connect to it seamlessly, worked really well. But they stopped distributing Marvin. The developer stopped it a couple of years ago. So when I upgraded to my latest iOS, it wouldn't support it anymore. So I had to find a brand new e-reader. And again, one of the musts was it had to be spouse friendly because my wife reads quite a bit. She's been going through the Wheel of Time books. So in the end, I found this one after much searching, bit of both. And it's called Yomu, Yomu. So you can read PDFs, EPUB, all that good stuff with it. But again, more importantly, it allows one to read, to, talk to your Calibri library. And it just, so for my wife, it's great. She hits one button on the thing. It's been pre-configured, and then she can see the latest things we've gotten. So I'm still reading Coming of Age in the Milky Way by Timothy Ferris. Great historical of all the great characters, and I literally mean that in astronomy, of some of their weird habits and stuff like that. Really enjoying that. And then the other one I just picked up, and it's brand new, and I know this was coming out. I'm a big newspaper junkie. I love the history of newspapers and the role of that. So this is from Adam Nagorny, and it's brand new. It's called The Times: How the Newspaper of Record Survived Scandal, Scorn, and the Transformation. So it's basically a history of the Times from about 77 till 2016. And again, I love reading about this. And again, the Times is one of those success stories. They successfully migrated and turned to be able to survive the digital world. They've got a successful paywall. They're making tons of money off that, but they're still able to do a quality product. So like the Times and the Guardian are my two favorite papers. So yeah, I haven't really started it yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading that one as well. I do find now I'm trying to read stuff more than just doom scrolling. So instead of reaching for like Facebook or that, I'm going to the ebook now, and it's far easier. So trying to do that. So that's what I'm currently up to. Jeff, how about you?
Well, I think on occasion I have mentioned that my wife likes to follow auctions, particularly estate auctions.
Yes.
And from time to time, she'll go through one, and I'll just pick it up and take a look and see. In this most recent one, I found a 39-volume set, Time and Life: History of the Second World War, which I had seen I've seen volumes of this over the years on different topics. It's each volume is on a specific topic, and it goes chronologically through the war. Really good series. Anyway, I wound up getting it for like $1.50 each. And I couldn't. So I sit down and I pulled up the Pacific Campaign because I was curious to see what they had to say about Midway after reading that book, Shattered Sword, and really well done. But I gotta tell you, that I would not have survived the jungle campaigns.
Yeah,
I would the horror of what those guys had to go through on both sides is astounding. It's just just astounding to read. Anyway, that's what I've been doing.
And you've been working out hauling those heavy volumes home.
Oh yeah, that was like half the carload just to get the volumes back into the house.
Yeah.
You know,
It is fascinating reading publications and periodicals and such from those periods. Neil will occasionally find them at the flea markets and such.
Mhm.
It's like, and the versions of, say, Popular Mechanics, Scientific American, and such during the war as to what's
Yeah.
going on. You're like, knowing what you know now, how much of this stuff was misinformation,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
how much of it was just like extremely enthusiastic or I don't want to say naive, but almost,
It was propagandistic, and they bought into it. That was
Yeah.
their efforts on the part of the war effort.
And then you're like, okay, let's give them a little slack. They were pretty, these companies they thought they could make stuff work, then and never did.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you gotta give it a chance, because if one of them does, then that's a huge advantage.
What's interesting is when these were written, these were written in 1978, the volumes. The actual the perspective on it is, I could be wrong on this, but my read of it, the sense of it is, it's a post-Vietnam kind of flavor, right? Like, war is hell. This one, Pacific Campaign, wasn't hell. It was, a fight against bad things, and it was the, what do you call it, the good war, right? Studs Terkel. So the sense of it was that the writing wasn't jingoistic. They were actually, in retrospect, looking back and saying, this was hard. Well, these guys, what people had to do was hard, and the things that some of them did were not good, but had to be done, kind of thing. Anyway, it's an interesting, to your point, Terry. I've always found it interesting to try to read contemporaneous, recountings of things, just to get a flavor of what our world might be like, and what I'm reading today might actually be.
Yeah, history is not news of the day, and history changes, and you don't know what you don't know, and over time you find more out, and that filter becomes often a little more realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's what I've been doing.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like another, if you ever get a chance to read the Sherlock Holmes mysteries.
Oh yeah. Every couple of years.
We read them thinking it's historical fiction, and it was not.
No.
It was contemporary. It was written at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those series like Lord of the Rings I come back to every few years and reread them. I just really enjoy them.
They're enjoyable. That and Verne.
Yes.
Verne was a badass man. Yeah, he knew his science and his technology and physics and everything.
Yep.
Anyway,
I agree. H.G. Wells is always fun too. I mean, you get some interesting political elements in his stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's mostly his. Yeah. I'm still reading Ed Yong's An Immense World. I'm now into hearing. I went through touch, which is fascinating. You have chemical senses like smell. Those are our oldest senses, because even single cell organisms have chemical sensors. They may not have touch sensors. They may not have pain, may not have any of that, but they do have that. But hearing is stuff I had never thought of, and heat sense as well, which is also a derivation of pain sensors. But hearing, how does a blue whale make sounds with 100-meter wavelengths?
Yep.
They can hear each other across the world. How they get stereo hearing from a wavelength of 100 meters is still something we haven't figured out. So it's fascinating. But they're, just like the Umwelt, that is what it is. It's like they live in a world of sound, and they can map. In fact, we map oceans using their sounds. It's amazing.
I'm gonna have to look up that.
When I'm done with it, I'll send it up your way. It's an amazing.
It's in my queue. I've got it in my queue at the library. Yeah.
It's drinking from a fire hose, and you are just nicking the surface of each of these things.
But I
Mhm.
like that. I like that because
Yeah.
it's opening your eyes in a whole bunch of levels that I want to do a deeper dive on that. I'll do
Yeah.
that.
And
Yeah,
this
and
is
then
what I
these
love about reading these nonfiction. I always have a couple of nonfictions on the go for that reason.
and these
Yeah.
broad science books, the last quarter of the book are references. You
Yeah.
go through it and it's like, oh, I got a lot done. It's like, oh no, that was the end of the book. The rest of it's references. Wow.
Yeah.
I've
Wow.
It's like, what do I want to dig into next? Let me go back to that hearing thing. I also started another set of graphic novels because and they're free on Comixology to me. Garth Ennis, who did the Lucifer series, did Preacher, and I've known about Preacher, but I didn't never really know what it was. And it seems like it fits in the same universe. Um, it may or may not. I haven't found out yet. There haven't been any characters yet crossing over. But it's very much in the same theme, so I'll see how long I go with it, or if I get tired of it being very similar themes.
Right. Right. Very cool.
Mhm.
Very cool. Okay. All right. Other than the amazing stuff I've seen at the show, those show pictures, that's really the things I've seen this week. I haven't seen really anything else.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. Well, we should put Chris Medding's build of that
Yeah.
820 in there.
I'll put that in. That's a nice build he did.
And the
Even though he's
32nd scale XP72 as well.
He-
I'll find that link.
even though he's on my SH1T list for the work he's doing on the Mooseru Cup for his podcast. I'm just saying,
You're just saying. I mean,
I'm
it's
just
not.
saying. Yeah, I already told him that. I said I'm very jealous, but that's fine. He knows.
Whatever.
No, you know what? He's doing a great job, and that's the difference between a professional and a rank amateur. But no, it's good. He's making it like it's been destroyed. So he's the interior of that. He's taken the roof off, and he's got like put in, bent little metal frame to indicate the seats where the seat frames are. He's scratch built an engine. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I think I said last time he printed an engine and he sent me an email saying, by the way, the engine's scratch built. So
Yeah.
I would have sent him a rude gesture if I could, but that's no.
I mean, honestly, Stuart, if you wanted to, you could do yours as destroyed as well. Just take a hammer. Right?
Well, yeah. Well, no, I was thinking, just making conversation. They're doing a tarp build. I could just cover the damn thing with a tarp, as long as it looks like, the judges said, Ian said, as long as it looks like, the thing. But
yeah,
no, I'm gonna have some fun, particularly on the diorama side, weathering and stuff like that. So no, like I said, it's very tiny. That's the only thing that's really, I'm enjoying it, but it's very tiny, some of the parts.
it's not. It's like what? It's like an inch and a half or 2 inches.
Oh yeah,
if that.
It's hang on, you just talk for a second.
Oh, here we are, podcast, and he walks away from the microphone.
That's right. All right, everybody. Stu stepped away from the microphone,
and I'm back. That's the frame.
Oh yeah, well that's
a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it's still bloody tiny. And again, there's about 40 parts on there, and there's a few missing I still have to put on. But anyway, yeah. But no, it's beautiful kit. Don't get me wrong, but it's very fiddly. As I
just love how the Mooseru Cup, the way it works out is every time your turn comes around, they come up with this pain in the ass kit.
Something small,
fiddly little microscopic builds.
Why can't I have like an Airfix kit which just goes together and then we have to have fun painting or something like that? I was thinking to myself, I'd almost prefer the 700 scale photo etch filled battleship at this point. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Nope, that's fine.
Next year it'll be Terry's turn, and it'll be like a Bandai throw together.
It'll be like a throw together, bake and shake right up his alley.
Hey,
exactly.
they leaned into my side of building, and I didn't do it, even though I was the only one that did it.
Well, you know why? That's why they asked for names. Who's doing it beforehand? Because they want to make sure. The only time that didn't work was the year before when they got a 72nd scale aircraft, and Dave Knights from the Mojo still didn't get it done.
Yeah, that's right.
We were all saying this has to be a fix. Poor guy got so much flack for that, but just the way it turned out. But no, we really appreciate Lightspeed Global and our good friends at IPMS Hamilton. They're always doing neat things like that. So,
well, to be fair, I mean, if we didn't bitch about it, how would they know it was us?
Oh, I know, I know. And no, I'm still enjoying it. It's just, this is why I always have two things on the go, because
Mm.
if I work on it for about an hour, I get a headache. I'm going cross-eyed, or I'm always having to take the glasses like this, do the, so I can see the smaller in details. So, but no, like I said, that's fine. So it'll be fun. Only got a few months. March will be here before we know it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
know,
do.
5 months away,
do.
exactly. So I'm gonna try and get that done. And like I said, I have a feeling there's a Macross for the next build. I think either that, or I'll just throw Insanity into the wind and work on a ship or something. I don't know. But see, if I work on that Fletcher, the 350, I have to order some stuff. So which is
Right.
outlay.
That's a build.
I
I
know,
mean,
and it's got the white ensign set, but I'm not doing all that photo etch.
it's
So I'd rather get some 3D printed stuff and make it look halfway decent.
there's
I
a
know.
lot in a 350th scale destroyer
know.
that you'll
I
have
know.
to do.
I looked at
Yeah.
the instructions and that. So, well, because
That's,
I've also got
that's not one kit. That's not one kit.
no,
That's
it's like 28. Yeah,
28 kits.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But again, if I don't use half the photo etch, it goes down to like 14.
Yeah.
Because you're not having to put 28 pieces of photo etch together.
No,
Oh,
no,
well.
no.
This hobby of ours, but we do it to
Yeah.
relax. Yeah,
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, relax.
Nobody does this hobby to
Yeah,
relax.
there's no drama. There's no drama in model making, is there? Not at
No,
all.
I can tell I'm at a stage of this build because about 6 other kits are starting to call to me from across the
Yeah.
pond.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I still have my shelf of Doom 2. I gotta get back to at some point. Maybe I'll do that. Doubtful, but you never know. There's a Airfix lifeboat I really want to do, but it is the first edition, which had very poor fitting main cabin, and that's the part I'm on. So again, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I will say one thing. One thing for the future of the hobby. Was back visiting my grandsons last week, the end of last week, and the youngest one came running out with the Titanic model that I'd started for them.
Oh yeah.
And they are adding more parts to it. They've been using little sprue cutters and cutting them and gluing them on. So he says, Granddad, look, we added more lifeboats. So, there you go.
There you go. That's nice of them. That's good. I thought they were going to be like Gundams on it or something.
No, Jeff, you just need to say, and it still wasn't enough.
And it wasn't enough. Well, I taught them. I taught them the old campfire song about the
oh yes,
Titanic that sailed the ocean blue.
Oh, good.
And they love that. They love that. Anyway.
What did their mother think?
She does not love that.
No, I wonder why. I remember that from Cub Count. Oh yeah, good fun. Good fun. Well, that's what, like I said, that's what being the cool grandpa is all about.
Well, that's what being the bad influence grandpa. I much prefer that name.
A bit of both. A bit of both is always good. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with that. All right, gentlemen, I think we may as well wrap this up. So we're also sponsored by Return to Kitform. Return the number 2, kitform.com. Check out their website. Always amazing stuff there. Speaking of Macross, if you're working on your Macross fighters, they're the ones to see for canopy masks, all sorts of goodies. I've got a few of them already. Also, for the non-North American distributor from Moscato Hobbies, John's got a bunch of stuff he's been playing around with. Definitely worth checking out. And he's still got some stuff in stock. Also, he still has the Super Sanding Blocks by Goodman Models. So if you're in Australia, New Zealand, that area of the world, that's a good place to get them on from as well. So, and we appreciate Brett and Chrissy's support as well. All righty. I think that's about it. Anyone else have any parting shots? Last word?
The one thing I just came to me, Andrew Finnegan, Above and Below Decals.
Oh yes, he's having a hell of a time at Canada Post.
He is having a bad time with shipping costs, and Canada Post in particular, that it's cheaper for him to ship product to the UK or to the US than it is to send it. It's cheaper to send it to Ireland than it is to send it to Toronto or to Calgary, and he's in Vancouver. He's in the BC area. So it's just Canada Post rates are stupid. I mean, and it's an unfortunate situation that he's in. That's the kind of thing that's going to throw good quality small businesses out the window, particularly in Canada. And I just want to give him a shout out for being there for the hobby, because he produces great quality material, and he's putting up with a lot of crap in order to do it. So that was one thing that just came to me as we were talking.
Nope. Excellent point. And I think it's something if you can support them, Above and Below Graphics, we've all used their products. They're wonderful things.
Great
Uh,
stuff.
Definitely try and support them because they just do a awesome job. All righty. So for episode 129 of the Scale Model Podcast, my name is Stuart Clark.
I'm Jeff Highland.
And I'm Terry Measley, reminding you to close up the screen porch. It's model building season.
Excellent.
Yes, it is.
Excellent. Keep the mosquitoes out. Thank you and be well.